Good evening. This is Passionate Bliss, and I am reporting on episode 7 of Married at First Sight, season 20 in Seattle. The couples are moving right along. They are going to meet up at a couples dinner. They're going to discuss the status of their relationship, where they are, what they feel like has taken place, and what they're looking forward to in the future. The therapists and the life coach, they are listening in and they are also viewing them at the table. They're watching the interactions, they're watching how they show up, and they are hearing every word that's been said, including a compliment sent to them that they did a very good job in matching them all up. And I do agree with that. And they received it well and said thank you. For the first time in several seasons, I can see why each couple was put together. And in fact, if these couples don't make it, it won't be because of the therapist. It'll be because of their individual hangups as people, and their background and their baggage. So, with that being said, let's move along to the couples. The first couple up is Adam and Marissa. They are still in a happy, lust filled bubble. They are just skinning and grinning at everything each other says. He's being so attentive. And she is just eating it up with a spoon. But it does, in fact, come out at the dinner table that they are very surface level in their relationship. They don't even know what each other wants in the future. So that itself has been exposed. But they are indeed the happiest couple at the table. The second happiest couple at the table, Michelle and Cameron, who I thought was going to fail, but looks like they might do the best. But we shall see. Cameron and Michelle is glowing. She says she is smitten, and he seems like he is smitten too. And everybody at the table kikis and giggles with them because, unlike Marissa and Adam, they are not sleeping with each other. By that I mean sexually. And they are discussing what their home life and their future is going to be like. They have a deeper connection. They actually have the best couple at this time, honestly. Next couple up is Devin and Caitlin. Caitlin is just happy as can be. She is just giddy. She is happy because she says that Devin took the constructive criticism that he was given, and that criticism was to stop asking anything from her and to stop criticizing her. And he seems to be proud that he has been able to do that, and he has been able to see things from her point of view and to give her space, even though that is not what's normal for him. That's not what he's used to. And he finds that he is in fact participating in the challenge to stay in the fight for this relationship. I don't know too many people who want to have their marriage described as a challenge to stay in the fight, because that's what it is for him. And so even though he's patting himself on the back, the therapists are patting him on the back, she's smiling, she's got her hand on his shoulder, she's actually even touching him more now. So we'll see if she comes out of it. But she is able to admit to the people at the table, because they're asking each other questions, that she's cognitive of her reservations, and that he didn't have to work for her attention. So she wants him apparently to work for her attention. She knows that she has reservations, and she's trying to work on it. She said how she hates compliment, and he says, I compliment people all the time. So she's a weirdo who does not like compliments, and she said it's killing her to receive those compliments. But she has got getting used to it, and she has also started to give him compliments back. So she even did that today, gave him compliments. So she's excited and happy and giddy about her progress. And Devin is smiling like he is the poster boy, and like he is really getting a pat on the back from everybody at the table for basically accepting the challenge to stay in this fight. He's in a fight in his mind because he's actually having to fight what his actual true desires are. I don't perceive him as needy, because just watching what I've seen, but I've seen other people refer to him as needy. I've seen other content creators call him needy. I don't see that he was needy. He has needs. And in each and every relationship that you are in, you should meet your needs. Put your needs first but also put the other person's needs as a priority. But do not forsake your needs for the needs of another person. And that is what I believe Devin is doing at this time. And he's going to get tired of that. And if he does not get tired of it, what's going to happen is that another woman is going to come along and tempt him out of his marriage, because she's going to want to touch him and give him the affection and not act like a black cat to his golden retriever. So Devin is currently, I feel like Devin has seen a therapist. For him to make this kind of progress in what I assume is 1 week's time, he has to have been seeing an outside therapist counseling him to help him get through this, because all of a sudden at this table he turns into the voice of wisdom and reason for everyone. He's like a therapist on deck. I think this man is seeing a counselor to help him get through this scenario with this woman, and if it continues this way, he's going to get to that altar and tell her, no, I'm not keeping this marriage, because he'll be starved for affection by the time he gets to the end of it. He will be starving, trying to meet her needs and make her happy, and she's skinning and grinning. She's happy as a lamb. So we'll see how Devin does. I don't think he's going to be able to keep it up. But he's receiving all the kudos and the pats on the back for pretending like he does not want what he actually wants. So, next couple up is Mecca and Bella Jolie. Mecca is sitting there at the table gushing about how wonderful Bella Jolie is. How he just can talk to her and say anything, and she's just so amazing. And I mean, he is just glowing about the lady who he's only 60% attracted to. Then he goes to talk about what all kind of wagon she's got behind her, and he is, posturing like the therapist pointed out. But to me, I think that's because he don't really find her attractive. I'm secretly thinking that he likes white women. It's growing, my belief in that. And so, but I also noticed that he is complaining. So that may not be what he meant. I may be off base here, because it seems like to me Mecca is a weirdo, and I'm not going to understand weirdos. I'm just not. So, because he also started out at the beginning of the show complaining that her affection level has gone down. So if you barely attracted to this lady, then what do you care if she starts kissing and touching you left? Seem like to me you should be happy about it. But no, he's complaining. If I hadn't kissed her, I wouldn't have got a kiss all day if I hadn't initiated the kiss. So she received the message that I need to fall back from him saying, I'm only 60% attracted to you. So she received the message, and so I'm glad that Bella outed him at the table and told the group about his percentage of attraction question. And Adam asked, so did you friend zone her? Is that not exactly what I said? It sounds like you friend zoning her. And his friend at the table immediately came to the same conclusion. So it sounds like you friend zoning her. And what I did notice, and somebody else says that's crazy. I forgot who that was at the table that said, it was Devin. When she told him about the attraction percentage question, he said that's crazy. And then Mecca doesn't answer. He never answered the question. So are you friend zoning her? He never answers the question. He looks sheepish. He looks a little embarrassed. He looks like he feels stupid, as he should. But I still don't even know. He never answered the question if he was friend zoning her or not. But he's complaining about not getting a kiss. And then says, oh, do you think this might be related to that question? It's 100% related to that question. 100%. Since you like percentages. And she tells him that at the table. And she says that I do see that he's now trying more to initiate. But now I'm stuck in I need to back off mode. But I need to come out of that and get back, to where I was, because I need to focus on where I'm at right now. So now he's causing a struggle in his relationship that was not there previous to his stupid question about percentages. So the next couple up is Felipe and Tori. Felipe is gushing over Tori and how wonderful they are and how great she is and how much he wants to be a good husband to her, etc., so on and so forth. And she agrees and she feels the same. And she then confesses to the group how they were intimate. And she says, new news to me, that she initiated the sex. I thought that this man had pressured her And that's why they had the sex before she was ready. So when she comes out and admits that she initiated the sex, that means she was ready. She was ready. And I, because I'm the oracle, I was correct. Felipe was lousy in bed. Even though she said it was amazing, it was not amazing. It was not amazing. But she's not going to say that at the table. And she ain't going to say it to him. She did not enjoy the sex. And she now knows that I'm going to have to wait until I'm in love with him, so that me being in love with him will cover over the fact that he's lousy, while I figure out how to get him better in bed without hurting his ego. So she will probably take them to Kama Sutra and have them doing all this foreplay stuff and all this. She's going to have to try to come up with all these creative ways to get him better in bed so that she enjoys it. Or she's just going to have to wait till she falls in love with him. And that covers over the fact that he has no skills in the bed. And a lot of these guys have a high body count. And I used to cheat. And I this and I that. They are some of the lousiest people in bed because they're busy hitting and quitting. And they never learn how to please anybody but themselves. And a lot of these guys don't even know that they're lousy in bed because women pretend and fake orgasms. I think Felipe is one of those dudes. He's a good kisser, it seems like, and he probably was good at the foreplay. So she assumed he was going to be good in bed, and she was ready for it because she initiated. Women do not initiate sex that they don't want and that they ain't ready for. She was 100% ready for it. He just didn't deliver. I hate that for you, Felipe. And I hate that for Tori as well. So she's going to have to figure this out. Because she was a big girl enough to go back, she said, the next morning and let him know that she wanted to back up on the intimacy. She's not ready for it. And he was okay with it. Because he was still gushing over her and what he wants to be for her in the marriage at the table. So she'd already let him know that I'm backtracking on that. The JJ I gave you. Next couple up is Nick and Courtney, the MAGA couple. Last week, they ended on a good note. They were going to try to get the flirty warmth into their marriage, and she was going to work on being affectionate. She even, modeled some of it for it, rubbing his leg and his arm and stuff, and he was smiling. And she does a complete 180 and walks back every bit of it at this dinner table. When the guy... the doctor, Sean, mentions how as an athlete, she has to learn to practice even though you hate it to get the muscle memory. And, until you get till it becomes normal to you and you do it, without thinking, and it becomes a part of who you are. He explains it in a beautiful way that she, as a bodybuilder, should have received well. But no, I don't think that he wants any forced affection. So now it's forced affection. You were willing to work on it last week, but this week it's now forced affection. I don't think that Nick wants that until I feel it. But I get the impression that she is a woman who will never give him that. She will never touch him unless it is to initiate sex. And only because he wants it. So that's what I'm getting from her. Not only that, her old personality has returned. Because I was suspicious of this last week when I said... they see like they're laughing, they're having fun, they're playful, it's warming up. His only thing was that, he would like some more affection, physical touch, the flirty warmth. So now it looks like that's gone again, and the shrew that she was, shutting him down every word he said, that personality is the one that has come back. Because when they left and they went to the car, this is an example. First of all, she told him Adam was hotter than him. Adam was the hottest man in the show. When they left out, she said, "You ordered a Jetta? Well, I'm just glad you never opened the car door for me. Then you stepped on my foot." And then she complained back to back to back. That's like 5 complaints back to back. Why did you order a Jetta? Who wants a Volkswagen? At least you not open the door. You never do. He says, "I do." Then you stepped on my foot. And she's back to nagging and shutting him down everything he says again. So my initial prediction for them remains they're going to fail. Okay, my last couple, Sean and Nikki, if they don't get help, they are absolutely going to fail. They are still arguing, and she says that he is disrespectful. Now, I thought that he had worked on it. He said he was going to work on handling her with care. And she asked him to handle her with care. He said he was going to work on it. But she did come back and say that he was nasty. And then they, she put him out the bed. Then she let him back in the bed. And they were talking again, how he only liked to half wash. And, we're going to have to work on that. And then she said that they went out on a date with Mecca. And the scenario that she describes, where he said that he wanted to provide, a soft life for his wife and a safe place. And if she gets anxious, I want to cover that over. And she says, are you calling me anxious? I'm not anxious. I'm wonderful. I'm strong. I'm proud. I'm brave. I'm all this, And Mecca said that on the double date, she was saying, Sean, you do this, you do that, you do this, you do that. And he said, he described it as attacking Sean. That is how Mecca described it. And then she described a scenario where, he called her crazy. And so what has happened between these two is where I thought that they were going to have these little, because they were so good at, expressing themselves, because they were so intelligent and intellectual and able to recognize what's really happening. I thought that they were going to be able to work through these things and end up on a smooth course, but they're not. Because what I can see has happened is that in her mind, he has now become an enemy combatant in her home. And her automatic go-to response to him is to perceive it as an attack and to return fire. That is what she's doing. Because he picks with her. And she now, even when he's not picking, she sees it as he's picking. Because what he described at the dinner of him calling her anxious, he wasn't calling her anxious. He didn't do that. But now she sees everything he says as a hidden attack. Because since he's met her, he's been gaslighting her. He's tried to play word games with her. He's tried to rewrite the story with her. And, he goes back and forth with her and criticizes and tries to pick apart what she's saying and how she says it. And I feel like he's used to dating women who are less intelligent than him. And he intellectually intimidates them into submission. And he has been trying to do that with Nikki, but it is not going to work because she is too smart for this to work. He's not going to intimidate her. He's not going to subjugate her. He's not going to put her in her place. He's not trying to bring her down a peg. She has accused him of trying to humble her. And I believe that he has been trying to do that. And she's called him on it. But now that she realizes he's trying to do that, she is looking for sneak attacks, and she's seeing an attack when there isn't an attack, and she is returning fire. She's now in a pattern of combativeness with him. She's not going to come out of it unless they have help from a therapist. They're going to need to see a therapist to get a hard reset, to get her to see what she's doing, because she does not see that she's doing that now. She just sees that he's a problem. And she doesn't know if she has the space for him. So he goes further to say, well, then why don't you leave? Now, with a woman like Nikki, unless you actually wanted her to leave, you should never in life be telling her, why don't you leave? You don't call a woman like that, you don't call her bluff. You don't call nobody bluff at all unless you really mean for them to do it. And he's too old to be doing that. He's 48 years old. He's too old, but then again, men mature slower than women, even in their 40s. He's too old to call a woman that age. Don't call her bluff, because she going to answer it. Especially one that smart and one that accomplished. She don't need you for nothing at all. She's there because she wants to be there. And she didn't say, I'm leaving. You invited her to leave. And guess what she did? She went home and started packing. Then he calms down, realizes she has called his bluff back in return, and she about to fulfill your wish. And he's telling her, I want you to stay. But it's too late. You've already rung that bell. You can't unring that bell. Now she needs to go. She's done made up her mind that she's going, and now she's going to go. Her mind is made up. She will come back. But y'all need to see a therapist first before she comes back. There's going to be more of the same. Because he tried to do the reset outside. He said, I don't want to fight with you anymore. I'm not going to fight with you anymore. I'm not. So which means that he's decided to stop trying to humble her, stop trying to one-up her, and just be for real. And he could actually make that decision. But it's too late because now you're the enemy in her mind. And she's going to have a hard reset by a therapist to get her to see what's happening to her. Because you're enemy number one. But she knows that she didn't want to give up on it because, like Mecca said, there's compatibility there. She does respect him intellectually. And she enjoys him intellectually. I've seen her do it. And when they're getting along and joking and teasing, they're having fun. That's why I had so much hope for them. But the way he was fighting with her, again, makes me wonder, is this man gay? Because I do know that gay men who are in relationships with straight women often are combative with them. And they pick on them. Because they're not men, and that's what they really want. So I'm still, again, back to the question, is this man actually gay? If he got one gay friend, I will know that he's a gay man. But I have not seen his friend group outside of this show and these other couples. So I'm waiting for the verdict on him on that. But that's where the couples are right now. I will see you again for the next episode as soon as I get a chance. I'm traveling, but I think I'm going to take my iPad with me and do some more work while I'm there. So, with that being said, y'all have sweet dreams. Comment below, like, subscribe. Let me know what you think about the couples and how they're doing. Who do you think is going to make it? Who's not going to make it? Y'all have sweet dreams. Wait to find them real.